How about now? Can everyone hear me now? Outstanding. Okay. There's all the comments. All right. Awesome. Well, good morning to all of you as well. Display is fuzzy. I don't know why that would be. Why would they be fuzzy here? Hey, good morning to you as well. Yeah. Hmm. Why would they be fuzzy and how do we fix it? Well, display's fine with you, Eric. Eric, how'd your trays work out last week? I forgot to ask you. I figure one of these days we'll get this right. One of these days. But it looks really good on my end. But all right, let's get on into it. Talking about last week, not a whole lot happening last week. Slowly inched our way, and then gave it all back on Friday. Essentially ended up flat, so not much going on there. We've obviously been talking for a few weeks about how breadth is less than thrilling underneath this move higher and higher. Would really like to see it improve, and it's just not. Um, and then to put on top of that, something that I've always followed, um, momentum divergences, specifically daily and above, and so you can kind of see the S&P divergence, kind of hit this intraday. You can see lower with the reversal down. So certainly doesn't paint a bullish picture coming into this week. Um, that being said, certainly been a hard market to keep down. So obviously we will monitor accordingly. Could be putting in a pretty big momentum divergence here, as you can see on the weekly. So if you look at the kind of the weekly candles here, you kind of see not the most thrilling looking end of the week. Um, Kind of the selling coming in again. And if we were to continue to push lower, you can kind of imagine this rolling down, and you start panning out to weekly and monthly scales. And uh, as I always kind of teach, is that's where you start to get a little bit worried when you get these larger scale types of divergences. So a little harder to form, more reliable, bigger implications. So we're kind of starting to see that take shape. Um, Seasonally, it tends to be a good time of year, but not always, right? Of course. 20,000 becoming a problem again for the NASDAQ 100. Went up, hit it on Friday. Real nice reversal there. Again, looking like something heading lower to start this week. You can see again, we didn't hit a new close or anything, but you can just kind of see how much weaker momentum was on the way up to 20 this time versus a couple of weeks ago. So you combine the price reversals with the momentum weakening on that last little push, and it does paint a picture a little bit more bearish than bullish here. If it's going to play itself out, then we'd expect some sort of decent fall. Uh, Obviously, if nothing else, right back down to this kind of just below 19.5 area, but um, probably expect something bigger. I'd be thinking at least 19K, on that front. Nothing improving when we look at the NYSE, Russell, and Dow, right? They are having no part of the S&P Nasdaq party. And so that always makes me a little worried when you kind of get these non-confirmations, whether it be between the Dow and the S&P and whatnot. But when you have just whole sections of the market saying nope, I'm not really going to do it. Um, we haven't seen too many differences between the Nasdaq and the 100, but I kind of like to watch for those types of non-confirmations as well. Um, but what I liked about the composite when I was looking over the weekend, kind of gives you a pretty good shelf to watch right there, at the 17.5, right? So the support on the gap up and then test it again. So again, I don't, imagine most of you can look at this candle here, look at the S&P and the 100 as well, and you can see that nothing about that looks too terribly bullish. And, you can just kind of see how this momentum dropping off there. So, we come into this week thinking, lower, up a little bit in the pre-market, but I don't know if that means a whole lot. So we'll see. We'll see if we play ourselves out, but we'd be thinking lower at least maybe to start the week, and then we take it from there. But again, I think when you look at the composite, it kind of gives us the best roadmap. Kind of like to float around and see who is going to give us the best look. Um, okay, cool, Doctor J. You're able to get that. Okay, cool. Good morning, everybody. Awesome. A couple tips there. Switching to 1080, going full screen. Awesome. Yeah, on my end it looks great, but that's doesn't help you. So whatever we can do, good deal. But all right. So bottom line, not a bullish end to last week. Momentum looking questionable. Nothing has changed in the way of breadth improvement. Um, the non-confirmations between specifically Dow S&P, and then we finished the week adding a bearish looking day, kind of a bearish looking week, and momentum waning at the same time, right? So a lot of those dark clouds, as I like to say, kind of moving in, rolling in. And even though it doesn't mean it's going to rain, probably taking an umbrella out there, right? So that's what we'll be looking at to start the week. Some individual stock names um, worth taking a look at, some of the big names. I'm looking at Apple here, and I'd be curious to see what happens on that nasty little fall from Friday. A lot of stocks at the end of the day on Friday. Like, I don't know how many of you are in options gambit, but hopefully you were paying attention to Microsoft at the end of the day. The day, because look at that gem. So happened too quick for us to get an alert out. So obviously we had the 450 puts there, and last 5 minutes of the day, wee down you go. But look at that, starting from what do we got there, 345, like a nice little fall. So they were chucking them out the window. We saw that on a few stocks. Look at Apple, a lot of the big names. And they didn't really spare them. Amazon actually got a little bounce. Who was the other one I saw that looked real rough? Yeah, Google. But yeah, um, so anybody in Gambit, hopefully you were paying attention there at the end of the day. But anyway, coming back to Apple, I'll be curious to see how the next week or two goes, because that sure looks like Apple's trying to put together something in the realm of a big bullish pennant of some kind. But we'll see. We need to see another support put in. But at the top side, you can see resistance trend line tested now 4 different days here. So that's pretty helpful because it kind of gives us a cue of when to possibly enter on the upside. Downside, a little different here. So we'll see. We'll see if we get some sort of recovery. Stock's up about a buck in the pre-market. So if it kind of comes off of that, then we'll be able to put, maybe our, the other side of it here, and then we'll have a nice, pretty bullish little pennant going on. Flip side of that would be something like Nvidia. Nice little potential head and shoulders little peak there. Um, Not a great day going back 2 weeks right here. It's pretty nasty looking one, and really didn't do much during the rally last week. You did get the move, back early to start the week, but then it was just kind of could not seem to move with the market. Instead, just kind of kept selling into it. So you have your little shoulder there, and potential second shoulder there. So a nice little internal trend line through here. So close below this would seem to confirm a peak of some magnitude has been put in for Nvidia. Nvidia first price target probably be 100, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe the air is finally coming out of these things, right? Maybe. We obviously our flavor of choice over here with SMCI. Nasty looking day itself. You can see on Friday, Thursday, right? Nice little day. Looked like we were potentially running back up to our 970 up here, but no way, no can do. Completely reversed it. I'd be looking at 800, kind of like, not something we see popping up over here too often, but, psychologically, something like that. Here's the little shelf that was holding us up, from last month. So um, that would probably be more ideal target 750 than the big one down here at 700. So we'll see what the stock plans on doing. Obviously, we like trading this. We do pretty well with it. Managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat with this thing on Friday. Um, yeah, we worked this trade pretty well. Um, Turned into profitability, but it wasn't looking thrilling to start the day Friday. We kind of got hosed a little bit because the market Nasdaq opened up 0.5%, maybe more, and we didn't take part, and we were positioned. We were actually in the money on the call side, in the money a lot, and so not getting at least a little pop into the low to mid 900s really hurt us, but made up for it because we also had the puts on the downside, and we had brought them up, so that actually worked out pretty well. Wasn't sure about it, but ain't over to the fat lady sings, right? So they say. All right, so that's SMCI for those of you that like that. Some don't like it that frisky. A lot of us do, but we keep doing pretty well with this, so we'll keep going to that well. Who else were we watching last week? We were actually in MDB to start the week and made it right up to the little green line there, which sadly was our target overall. So a little disappointing that we weren't in it after the reversal here and taking our calls off. But this is also why, for those members that are new, why we almost always just let them on and let them expire worthless. Because the minute we take them off, something like that happens. But knowing that we had the 237.50 calls there, it's a little bit disappointing. But oh well. Stock takes out that 250 mark, then I would think there's more coming to the upside. So we will watch to see if that happens. Obviously, went right up against it on Friday. And the week before, when we got in it, that's where we thought it was going to go. So gave us a little fake out. We trusted that fake out. And oops. All right. Who else we keeping an eye on? There's obviously Tesla, watching the 200 mark on that. Right. Stocks just a hair above it today. So I think that's pretty obvious. That 200 level goes back a while. You can see that in, kind of the green. It goes back way before. It's an important level, kind of an inflection point for Tesla. So I think if you hold above 200, obviously we talk a lot about the market here lately and how typically our view is, quote, we rise and fall with the market. And we don't really have a market, so to speak, in that context, right? We don't have a one market that's moving higher overall, right, or lower overall. We're split up all over the place, right? We have a Nasdaq 100, a Nasdaq, and an S&P that kind of keep grinding out the highs. We have a Russell, an NYSE, and a Dow that aren't taking part. We have a Nasdaq and an S&P that are moving higher, but half the stocks or less within them are not, or more. I'm sorry, half stocks or more within them are not going higher. So it's difficult, and that's why we have kind of abandoned that for now. It would seem that the market might need a good washout to get everybody back in sync and on the same page, and we're defaulting just the individual names. All right, so who's breaking out? Who's breaking down? Who's who can we look at? So if so you want to keep that in mind, right? That obviously we want to be on the right side of the market overall, if given a choice. So we don't want to completely ignore it. But again, what we're mostly doing here is saying, all right, Tesla breaks above 200, just like, you know, gets above 180, came right back down, bounced on 180, and up it went last week. Right. But hey, let's go and get, wow. I didn't notice. So, oh my, well, look at you. Oh my God, we had these puts. Ah, decided to get out here. That's, I didn't even see that. Wow. I don't really like to look back, you know, not a big fan of questioning and second guessing and Monday morning quarterback. So when we get out of a trade, I just usually move on. But look at that vomit fest and closed. Yeah, I saw it close right about 250, and that's where we exited. Look at that. That would have been a monster win. But we had a lot in that trade. So again, you make the best decisions you can at the time. It's easy to say, hey, if we would have stayed in it. But what if it also rallied here and then we're getting wiped out on a trade that had been built up to about three trades? We worked it down to the one and just called it a wrap. So I think that'll work. Oh wow, one more day. I didn't even see that. Hmm. Take a look. Let's pan out on this 220 mark. Let's see what that's all about. Okay, so this is the old back in this area. Okay, so that would be your first target there. I would think. Update some colors. Try to remember to do this. Green for support, red for resistance, but it's my OCD. All right, there we go. So yeah, looks like something in this general 220, 218 area. So I guess that's where you'd have to be thinking. Look at that fall. Intraday high 306. This thing's going to give up about 100 in pretty short order. But it's something we keep an eye on. We like the volatile names, right? So, but I just look. I was looking over here at some of my other names. And I just noticed 225. Well, good for you. All right. So who else we watching? We were watching Workday. I know that, but I think that went up and hit the wall and came right now. It did make it above, right? So it made it above this shelf. Okay. So I'm gonna take this out of here. I don't know how important this is anymore. Let's get rid of you. I know you do. So let's do some updating here. Yeah, little red there. I don't know. I'll keep you. Keep you. But anyway, so kind of got stuck right into that, right? Exactly like it knew that line was there. Popped above it. So a pullback to that 220 could be a play to look at. And we're gonna do a gold check here. Gold check continues to kind of wind through this thing. So we'll keep waiting. Say arm, Home Depot. You can do it. We can help. Take a look at app. App maybe going to try again with the 85, maybe. TLT taking a little bit of a hit today. Look at that. Not surprising, right? We got the break of our little nasty little day. So we got this little break and failed to hold that, which should be, you can see right now. Of course, that's from Friday, so it's sort of noise. So I must have logged off. Anyway, so yeah, so you can kind of see the breakdown from Friday. So not real surprising that we're moving lower. You can see we're in the left. We actually already have these puts. We have this thing strangled. Big fan of the strangle hedging. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. It's really helped. Really helped. I don't know. Smooth out the equity curve, so to speak. We don't take too many horrible weeks or anything, but that'd be what we're shooting for. And so sure enough, 90 looks like it's coming. Kind of got us there. It kind of looked as if here that we were going to boop pop on through. But we got 3 weeks. We have 3 weeks in this trade, so I'm not too terribly worried about it yet. Um, but what we will likely do for those of you in this and smart trades and coaching program, LTS, what we'll likely do is on this drop to 90, we'll look to bring the 94s down. So if we take a peek here, we have these. Let's open this thing up a little bit. So we're going to open up down another dollar and some change. It's going to put us probably here around there, trading around 30 cents ish. We already have 250 in. So there's 50 cents. Get you there. About $2.50. So putting it all together, we could probably sandwich this thing pretty tight. 94 clear down to maybe 91 and a half for about 50 cents. It's probably what we're looking at the open, something along that. We have this thing pretty tight, 90, 91.50. Problem is our number moves pretty high, moves up to about $3. Now we could also look at where would we be. Yeah, time's hurting us a little bit there. So we're gonna have to go in the money for this thing to work out. But hey, 3 weeks, plenty of time. I don't know if it's enough, but plenty. But we'll do our best. Smart Trades has had one heck of a run, so sometimes you got to give a little back, right? Smart Trades doesn't take too many losses, so we may take 2 this week, maybe. But again, 3 weeks. Well, not this week because we got 3 weeks to go on this thing. So we need to essentially, if we're falling, which to me this implies we are, we need our target would be here. So, all right, what else we got over here? All right, so we'll keep an eye on FedEx. Continues to do the FedEx thing. We almost put that trade on last week. This one here, we decided to look at possibly throwing a little strangle on that guy, but we did not. So we'll keep watching it. Always like the ones that are moving. BST slowed down a little bit. And probably 170 is probably what we'll watch this here. So we'll go right in this area there. That's what we're watching. See what you do this week. Haven't really done anything with Abercrombie. All right, so who are we going to keep an eye on this week? So we're going to keep an eye on, let's see if Tesla takes out 200. We'll see if Apple puts in a low. MBB will watch for the 250 if it can take it out. And saw that last week, yeah. Which we looked at that every day and didn't do anything, and then you kind of feel pretty good about it, as you're watching it just do nothing but chop through. But then on Friday, gave you one of these. Amgen did not. Eli Lilly doing what Eli Lilly do, just grind away. Whatever happened to Bristol? So I think this would be worth a watch. Take out 40. Guess I wish we would have been watching. Look at that break. Down you go. Easy peasy. Fortunately, we were not watching this. Unfortunately. So I think what you're watching now is going to be the 40. Take out the 40. I just did that, but okay, whatever you say. All right, so looks like we're coming back down. Take out 40. Oh, I don't know. I'm probably targeting I'm going to go with 37, maybe 35 overall. Make sure I got everybody here. To see Burlington. Speaking of moving around a little bit, MU coming down to a little inflection point here around the 130. I never did look at AMD again. I just, nothing about this stock looks like a good time to me. So forget about you. But MU takes out 130. Look for more to the downside. It's gonna open up right there. It's the open, you're gonna be opening up on 130. CRM was moving last week. For Paragon, our little lotto trade, we did pretty good. This one. I think net just came up short. We were in this too. I don't think it hit. It went profitable, but you would have been pretty nimble and closed it. Didn't quite get to the 85 we were hoping for, and didn't pull back down. So, but we did get the CRM fill, so that was nice. On Roku, yeah, let's take a look at Roku. Well, Roku broke down, then broke back, and the break back was bullish, right? Once it got back above the 55. This looks like obviously a little bit of a reversal at a psych market 60, right? Real messy through here, but if you look 60 resistance there, then 60 support there, 60 on the gap, again, that kind of psych number. This little mini reversal kind of has the look of something that wants to pull back down. Put that with a market that sure looks like it wants to go down to start the week, and one would think maybe we're going to pull back here. But I do think this break back, you get those false breakouts or breakdowns, they tend to be pretty bullish / bearish in the other direction. So we know this 55 was a pretty important mark, right? New 52-week low as well. And we would expect lower. And, you went a little lower. But the break back you would then look at is normally something we look at is pretty bullish there. Speaking of, look at Chewy. Having the time of his life. I open up a little higher again today. Chewy has not been one that I've put in my list of highly volatile stocks, but whoops, I'd have to rethink that. Well, they're gonna make it pay for it, though. They're gonna make it pay for it, so it wouldn't be something we probably look at. But yeah, what's his name, Mr. Kitty? I think yapping about it or something. It's funny. But the fundamentals, yeah, whatever you say. I believe you. Go get them, big guy. All right, let's look at some of our other friends, and we'll call it a wrap. URI still struggling at 650. I like 650 if you close above it, right through there. Follow it through. Something pops up a lot right there. So we'll watch you. We'll keep our 6.25. Keep that marked to watch. And we're open for business. Let's see what we got going on. CRM up again, TLT drop it. So like if SMCI, we have a holiday shortened week, so keep in mind. Where's Eric? Eric, are you eyeballing SMCI? So let's see if that got to 800 though. I think that would be kind of like that inflection point of doing that thing we do. We can take a look. Premium would be a little lower there, but I'd like to see it. Ooh, it might come to 800. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what? What is going on? Are you threatening me? All right, here we go. We can kind of speculate a little bit here. As you're at the money, yeah, it's gonna be a lot less expensive. 100, 40, 25, 50. Where would we be? We would be, yeah, probably a little more than I'd want to spend. I'd probably want to wait. I'd wait on that. We'll get into it tomorrow with prime time, probably. Otherwise, we look around, see, let's take a look. Tesla well above. Right, so sure seems like taking out the 200. Kind of got yourself a little bit of something to watch right through here. Right, so call it 205-ish. If you look right through there, a little higher. So I'd be targeting there on the upside, right? Resistance there, support there, support there. So that's what I'd be looking at. Who else? Did Apple turn up? Yes, it did. All right. So if Apple holds this, right, then we could put in something to help us complete the look of our. Okay, we'll see if we can do that. But something in this area, right? Hey, look, I can't draw. Stop screwing around. Right in that area. Like I said, we'll see if that holds up to the end of the day. But that would be the basic framework for now, right through there. Yeah. All right. So who else? Google, Amazon, Amazon's. But I'd be cautious on the upside. I mean, as we just broke down a little while ago, the market sure seemed to send a message of bearishness to come into this week. So I wouldn't chase this open or anything like that. Tesla's looking pretty happy though. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I think I'd like to wait. Just wait till we get a little later in the day here. Yeah, Mindy, I think that we discussed that a little earlier. I think if you change either, it looks like Dr. Joe was figured it out. They go into full screen. I can't see what's on your end. It looks great on my end, and some are saying it looks good. But then switching to 1080. Uh, Otherwise, I'll keep working to see if there's something on my end to kind of clean it up for you. All right, so where were we here? Where were we here? Bitto. Take a look at our buddy Bitto. Yeah. We really missed the boat on that thing when it broke down. Look away for a minute, right? CRM. Okay, I don't really see much else to get too terribly excited about here. We're still watching our channel over here and nothing doing. So coins having itself a little bit of a day. MSTR, let's take a look at you. Yeah, MSTR kind of getting a little crazy around that mark. VST, VST. I mean, not too much here that I'd be getting all that excited about. Let's go back over here to that look. Yeah, look in the video. Looks like it's thinking about finishing it up. So that could be a great play for those looking for a longer term play. And a longer term put play. Remember the big inverse? I mean, we were there when we were looking at that. Gosh, how far we gotta go back to see that thing? Way back here. Although something happened with all my chart work on the video. I don't really know what happened. But it's right through, right around there. Something like this. Oh, I know why. Never mind. I know what happened. Because of the split. So it kind of moved everything. No, wait a minute. I don't think this is it right here. I think we had it. Yeah, that's why. I bet you if we look up, I bet you that's where it all went in this area here. Do, 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 do. There you go. So I got to put it back in. There. And who was around for that one? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I bet you, well, I don't think we can see it. It's going to be, they're all going to be way up there. The top, so I don't think we can see it. But yeah. Yeah. It's a cute little guy, isn't he? All right. All right. So that's what we got, folks. Yeah, I'd be possibly looking at this little bit of green. Look for some hook plays. SMCI coming out of that 800 mark. I got the futures here, a little bit of support run right through 19.9. So I'm rolling back over, which is fine. Let's see what First Solar is doing. But yeah, I'd be expecting that we move lower into this. So for now, until we see the market, giving us a reason to think higher after Friday, I think you got to be expecting a little bit of a pullback. And again, I think always try to float around and look for the things that point us in direction. And right now, this is probably the best look amongst them all. So let's not forget about the NASDAQ 16.5 back here. That area there. Little marks here and there. Worth watching. Stair stepping up. So if we come down here, that's where you expect that would be your target on the downside for the NASDAQ, and that's where you expect to get a bounce too. And on the flip side, I think when you look over here, keep an eye on that. 20K. It's not really a fun market. Volatility's worthless. Which some people like that. I don't. I think it's terrible. Most of the traders I know think it's terrible. They prefer volatility, and we just don't really have a whole lot. I know we perform better when we have more volatility. That's for sure. What would be the NVIDIA play? Is that put? If we failed to hold, right? I don't want to see this break. So they fail to hold that. Price, if we just use basic chart pattern, back of the napkin price targeting type thing, you'd be saying 100 overall. Now, even if that did happen, obviously the trick is how long does it take to get there? But you kind of see right through here is where the line in the sand seems to be. So we will keep an eye on that ourselves. Otherwise, all right, everybody, have yourself a great week. Obviously, many of you, most of you, I'll see you on Options Gambit tomorrow or prime time. Smart Trades here in a little bit. Smart Trades, we'll talk a little bit about whether or not we want to do anything with our diamonds, talk about the TLT, and go from there. Otherwise, yeah, let's make some money this week. Make some money. See everybody Monday.